Is this your first time to a conference?
Yes.
What's the atmosphere like?
Lovely.
Yeah?
Perfect. Positive.
We're in smithereens. We need to get united. And once Brexit gets out the way, then Boris built up the party. And I don't want an election before Christmas.
So I'm at Tory conference, lucky me. Here's the backdrop. The nation is in turmoil. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, has lost every single vote. The Supreme Court has found that he misled the Queen, lied, by shutting down Parliament to evade scrutiny over Brexit. He's kicked out 21 members of his own party, and whether Britain even leaves on the 31st of October remains to be seen. So what I want to find out today is, has the Conservative Party become a different political party? And is everybody here comfortable with that? Boris Johnson is a trustworthy politician. Boris Johnson is a trustworthy politician. Boris Johnson is a trustworthy politician.
Yes. Of course he is.
Oh, emphatic, very emphatic.
Yes, definitely.
Why is he trustworthy?
Because he's going to get us out of the EU.
Lord Ashcroft, as I live and breathe, how much do you trust him?
Well, it depends. Trust him on what?
With
My missus,
how
or?
much-
Can anything stop Boris?
Do you trust Boris Johnson?
Absolutely.
Really?
Do you know, if I had over my life, if I'd written down the names of the men who've touched me inappropriately, spoken to me inappropriately, I'd be here all day.
But surely, I mean,
If I could remember them.
but do you not think it's quite?
Because I know that's what you're getting at.
Well, there's quite a few things. That's the problem. Boris Johnson.
Not the man for the job.
In what way?
Well, he's too much of a clown. He wants to go down this ideological route. There's no pragmatic plan, and I don't trust him, to be honest.
Thoughts?
I just agree with pretty much all of that. He's shown himself to be not particularly trustworthy in his personal life, and I think we would have been better off with someone more middle of the road.
How do you feel about 21 Tory MPs getting booted out?
I was fuming.
As the old Tory party died, is it now metamorphosising into the Brexit party?
It is certainly in danger of metamorphosising into something which is not conservative at all.
Are you worried that the rhetoric, some of the rhetoric coming from this government, is fuelling and legitimising a violent far right that has already killed in Britain?
Yes, let me give you a concrete example from this weekend. On Saturday, an official, unnamed at number 10, on behalf of the government, suggested that I and a number of others were colluding with EU officials or foreign governments to draft the Ben Act. Now, who decided to do that? And the direct consequence of doing it was a death threat as I came up on the train. There is a direct causal link between the two. Indeed, the death threat came accompanied by the Mail on Sunday article photographed.
Money and tax avoidance and tax evasion into the Cayman Islands, into the Virgin Islands. Enough of the annihilation. Go home, go away, be gone.
To Conservative MPs about the Prime Minister's evocation of Jo Cox's memory when it came to...
When a journalist asks about the language Boris Johnson used about Jo Cox, we heard yells of shame on you, booing, humbug. Does that make you uncomfortable?
No, it's a bit uncomfortable, that is, but I think he's fighting his own corner, to be honest, against all opposition, against lots of people who he thought were his allies and have turned out against him. And I think he's actually, people have said to me, do you think he's warmongering, battle? Well, out there in the streets, it is a battle.
No.
Why?
After what you've called me over the last...
What have I called you, Mark? Mark, you're breaking my heart. My heart's been broken. That's so sad. Mark Francois doesn't want to talk to me. Rejection.
You've got to remember that we are different than a lot of European countries. We've got a history of culture, of sovereignty.
So do
and
they.
It's stronger.
So do they.
Yes, they do. I'm not saying they don't, but ours is very, very strong.
you knock on the door and people say, if we don't come out on the 31st of October, I'm going to riot. And there's going to be trouble.
Do you tell them, don't do that?
On every occasion I say, no, if you...
A huge number actually say they'll never vote again.
You're the one that organises all the rallies in London, obviously. You're the one that gets everybody disruptive and rioting in the streets. Not the other way round.
When have I ever caused a riot?
It's all propaganda
from
your side.
But
we know what you're up to.
When have I ever caused a riot? When have I ever caused a riot?
Caused a riot? You just cause a riot wherever you go.
Can I ask another question to all of you? Do you think there should be a pact between the Conservative Party and the Brexit Party?
There should be
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
You want a pact?
And then you're all annihilated.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I will call it a purge because that's what I think it is. I think it's the Prime Minister trying to remove all people that he doesn't agree with in his party. My question is that if we were to have a second referendum, would you support 16 and 17-year-olds having the vote in that referendum?
What message do you feel the Tories are sending to younger people like yourself at the moment?
Not a good one.
We're trying to say to Boris that, look, if you do go ahead with no deal, this is going to be something that you're going to lose the young vote, basically.
It goes much further than that. My dad came to this country as a refugee. The day that the referendum happened, he came up to me, his son, who's a Conservative Party councillor, and he said, I feel like I've become a refugee for the second time. There's people that they feel that have actually been rejected from the country. We really, really need to think about this.
I'm sure you'll find someone who's good.
Why
who you can interview.
Why have you told him not to do it?
Because I don't want him to make a tit of himself.
He's not going to make a tit of himself. Why do you think he's going to make a tit of himself?
I don't. I just think you're very good at manipulating people to say things they don't want to say.
How? You're in control of your own voice box.
That is true. That is true.
Come on, what are you
but
scared
it's Tory
you'll-
party conference.
What are you
isn't it?
scared you'll say?
I'm not scared. I'll say anything.
Well, so I can ask you a question.
You can ask me a question. What question?
What policies do you want to introduce that haven't been introduced so far?
That's very open to. That's very
How is that open to? Why are you so scared of answering a question? What policy would you like them to introduce they haven't yet?
I think tougher sentencing for criminals. I know that is really a policy, but I don't think we go far enough.
Do you think on drugs?
Definitely.
What about the cabinet? Should they go to prison?
Definitely not.
Why?
And I
You
don't.
just said tougher sentences.
Only the Conservative Party is driven by the people's priorities, and that means backing our police, our country and our communities.
What did you think, everyone? What do you think?
Great.
Yeah?
Excellent speech, particularly the emphasis on more police officers and.
But they got cut by the Tories for the last.
But
few years.
we are where we are now, and that is increasing the number of police officers. Now, this is what we're talking about, not what happened 3 or 6 months ago.
You're living in the past, that's your problem.
You're living in the present.
No, hang on. You said that the Tories have cut police number.
That's the present.
Yeah, but that was because you bust the country.
Yes.
You personally, the Labour Party.
I bust the country.
Yeah, you are a puppet of Jeremy Corbyn, I'm afraid.
I think she's a future Prime Minister.
What do you think of the speech?
Very good.
Well, tough. I mean, she
Uplifting.
Uplifting.
Yeah.
It was. Ignore me. That's harsh. Why is everyone wearing suits? I am interested in this.
I think we are, the most prestigious party in the world today. So
The most prestigious.
I think we're the longest, standing
very
party
old.
ever.
It's an old one.
There's a lot of respect that, people give the party, and I think it's quite good that we show that respect in the form of dressing up.
One of the most popular events at university is the Port and Policy event we do, and people love dressing up, getting their suits and dresses. I really enjoy port.
Port and cheese.
Port and cheese. Port and
What's your favourite
chocolate.
port?
What we do is we
Now he's
find
trying
the
to make us
cheapest.
look posher than we
I
actually
am
are.
not. You're
That's
so-
his narrative.
Don't be so
We know what you're doing.
honestly.
We know what you're doing.
No,
We're regular,
I'm just
ordinary.
interested in
What we do is we go to Aldi and we find the cheapest port, and each turn society, a member of
Port of
committee
the
pays for
people's
it.
port.
The people's port, and people love it.
Now, it's just 3.5 years ago since David Cameron and his faction, whatever you want to call them, the Cameroons, the Notting Hill set, were firmly in charge. But now it is the Tory right, the Mark Francois, the Priti Patels, the Jacob Rees-Moggs, the Boris Johnsons who are calling the shots. Now, if you speak to the old so-called liberal wing, socially liberal but pro-austerity, they are down and out and defeated as things stand. But an election is coming, and the Tories do have a chance of winning that election. And the people who've taken over the Tory party, the Tory right, who are transforming this party in their own image, soon they may get the chance to do it to Britain as well.